The war came without warning. It started with a burning sky. Explosions shook the floating palace of Veralis, and the blue moon above cracked like glass. No one expected the Eldari to break the peace treaty, especially not on the night of Princess Celira's coronation. She was laughing only moments before the alarms rang, her long silver hair glowing under the crystal lights, her eyes flashing with playful fire. But laughter died when the palace trembled, and a guard was thrown into the hall by the shockwave of the first missile. The enemy was already inside. Soldiers in dark armor stormed the royal chambers. Celira barely had time to scream before she was pulled behind a shield wall of her own protectors. One of them, the only human in her personal guard, grabbed her wrist and didn't let go. "Stay behind me, Your Highness." The human shouted. His name was Connor Drake. He was quiet, disciplined, and had only been assigned to her a few weeks ago. Unlike the other guards, he didn't react to her teasing. She had tried everything: illusions, telepathic flirting, even floating a hologram of herself in his bunk once, but he never cracked a smile. Cold, professional, human. Now he was bleeding from his temple, but still shielding her with his own body. They ran, through smoke, through fire, through broken glass and rubble, down hidden tunnels only royals knew. Her soft royal shoes slipped on the stone floor, and she had to grip his arm just to keep moving. Even now, with the world ending around them, Celira caught herself blushing. It wasn't from fear. The escape pod was damaged, but it launched just in time. Her other guards were gone. She didn't even know if they were alive. Only she and the human made it out. They landed on a strange forest moon called Zulthan 3. Toxic to most aliens, but humans could breathe its air. Connor said they'd be safe there for a while. It was remote, abandoned, and unknown to the Eldari. He set up a camouflage shelter and warned her not to use her powers. Her glowing magic would be too easy to track. The first night, she cried under a blanket. The second night, she watched him cook their strange field rations and wondered why he never smiled. By the third night, she started teasing again. "Do all humans eat this gray block and call it food?" she asked, floating a ration cube toward him with her mind. "Eat or starve," he said. "Your choice, princess." She pouted. "You used to call me Your Highness. We're not in a palace anymore." Celira hated how he stayed so serious. She was used to being adored, praised, obeyed. But he treated her like a burden, a responsibility, a mission. So she made it her mission to break his armor. One morning, she walked out of the shelter wearing only one of his long jackets. Her bare legs glowed softly in the dawn light. "I'm cold," she whispered. "Hold me?" He looked away instantly and threw her a thermal blanket. Still, she kept trying. She sent heat pulses to tease him while he bathed. She filled the tent with gentle perfume using her mind. She even read his dreams when he fell asleep, whispering strange things to him through the dark, just to watch him shift restlessly. But he never crossed the line, and somehow, that made her want him more. Then something changed. She stopped teasing just to tease. She found herself laughing at his terrible human jokes. She started asking about Earth. She even helped him fix their comms unit, using her powers secretly, just to see him relax. He smiled once. It lasted only a second, but it changed everything. And then came the night, when she had a strange dream of stars spinning, her body glowing from within, and a heartbeat that wasn't hers. She woke with sweat on her forehead and her hand on her stomach. She didn't understand it yet, but something was already growing inside her, and the war wasn't over. Not yet. Not for either of them. Celira didn't tell him at first. How could she? Every time she looked at Connor now, her stomach felt strange, tight, warm, nervous. It wasn't just the war or the crash or being stuck together on a toxic moon. Something had changed inside her. She didn't know if it was magic or something else. She sat alone on a rock near the river, pretending to be interested in the purple fish that swam just beneath the glowing water. Connor was behind her, repairing the scanner. His strong hands worked fast, but his shoulders were tense. He hadn't slept much since they landed. "You should rest," she said gently. He didn't look up. "Not until I fix the signal. They need to know we're alive." She knew who he meant, his people, the human fleet. They would come for him, not for her. The Eldari would kill her on sight. She was their enemy now, the runaway heir. The traitor. "Princess," she touched her belly again, quietly. It wasn't flat anymore. It had only been a few days. Maybe a week. That wasn't normal. Not even for her kind. Eldari pregnancies didn't start this fast, unless there had been a magical trigger. Some bond, some deep, unexpected fusion of power and body. But Connor had never touched her that way. At least not like that, right? She tried to ignore it. She played with her hair, made a leaf spin in the air, and even tried humming a melody that usually made him glance over. He didn single quotes t. She finally said it. "I had a dream." He grunted. "I was glowing. There were stars inside me." A heartbeat. He paused, looked over his shoulder. "Sounds intense." It felt real. Connor stood and stretched his arms. "You've been using too much magic. It messes with your brain." But she shook her head. It wasn't just magic. He walked closer, brushing dirt from his hands. He looked serious. "Are you saying you saw something? A vision?" She hesitated. "Maybe, or maybe something is already inside me." He stared at her, just stared. The silence was heavy. "You think you're pregnant?" he asked. She nodded. Slowly. "Yes," he blinked. "But we didn't." "I know," she snapped, frustrated. "I would know if we did. But something strange happened the night we landed. Remember? I touched the core crystal by mistake." He remembered. The pod's power cell had ruptured. She had tried to absorb its energy using her magic, and the spark had exploded between them. It had knocked them both out for hours. When they woke up, the crystal was dead. She touched her stomach again. What if my body mixed something from you? DNA, soul energy, whatever humans carry. Eldari powers sometimes bond without asking permission. You know that, Connor." He looked pale. "That's impossible." "Is it?" she whispered. He sat down hard on a nearby log. The forest was quiet except for the buzz of glowing insects and the soft hum of alien birds far above. Connor looked at her like she was a ticking bomb. "I didn't sign up for this," he said finally. She crossed her arms. "Neither did I." They didn't speak the rest of the night. The next morning, something worse happened. A drone passed overhead. Small, silent, Eldari tech. Salira saw it first and froze. "They found us," she whispered. Connor grabbed his weapon and aimed. But the drone was already gone, just a shimmer against the trees. Vanishing over the ridge. "We need to move," he said. "But the comes. They'll track the signal. Anyway, we stay here, we die." They packed what they could and left the shelter behind. Salira followed him quietly, wrapping herself in a hood to hide her glow. She could feel the thing growing inside her. She wasn't afraid of it. Not anymore. She was afraid of what it meant. If the Eldari found her and learned she was carrying something half human, half royal. They would not only kill her, they would torture her first. Her body was a weapon now, and that secret was dangerous. And Connor? He didn't talk. Not the whole way through the forest. But he stayed close. When she tripped, he caught her. When she winced in pain, he slowed down. He didn't say it, but she felt it in the way he looked at her now. He was afraid too. Afraid of what she might become. Or maybe afraid of what he already felt for her. They found shelter inside a cave near the cliffs just before nightfall. The forest behind them was too quiet. Salira kept glancing over her shoulder, afraid the Eldari drone would return, this time with soldiers. Connor didn't say much, but He moved faster than before. His eyes searched every tree, every shadow. He held his weapon tight, his jaw locked in that same hard line she had come to know. The cave wasn't much, just a hollow in the rocks, but it was dry and hidden. Salira sank onto the cold stone floor and pulled her legs to her chest. Her fingers trembled slightly as she touched her belly. Still no visible signs, but something inside her pulsed softly. A rhythm, a presence. She looked up at Connor. He was checking the cave's walls for any dangerous bugs or plants. She watched his back, broad and strong under his worn human armor, and wondered what he was really thinking. "Do you hate me now?" she asked suddenly. He turned. "What?" she shrugged, pretending not to care. "You act like I've cursed you. Like this is my fault." Connor sat down across from her. "I don't hate you. I just don't understand what's happening. This isn't supposed to be possible." "I don't understand either," she whispered. There was a long silence between them. The wind howled outside the cave entrance. Distant thunder echoed from the mountains. Then Connor spoke again, softly. "I've fought in 5 different wars. I've seen species that eat light, creatures that melt metal with a touch. But I've never seen someone like you." She raised an eyebrow. "Is that supposed to be a compliment?" He gave her a tired smile. "You're arrogant, reckless, spoiled. And somehow you still make me laugh when I'm half dead." She blinked. "You've laughed?" "Inside," he said quickly. "Don't get excited." Salira let out a soft chuckle. Her hand brushed against her stomach again, but she tried to hide the motion. Connor noticed. He reached out slowly, like he wasn't sure if it was allowed. "May I?" She hesitated, then nodded. His hand rested gently on her belly. It was warm, solid, strange. They both froze. After a few seconds he pulled away, but his face had changed. Something serious flickered in his eyes. Not fear, not anger, something deeper. "You're not alone anymore," he said. She looked down. "No, I don't think I've been alone since that night." Suddenly, a wave of energy rushed through her chest. She gasped, her body jerking forward. A burst of light flickered beneath her skin, glowing through her hands like white fire. Connor jumped to his feet. "What was that?" "I don't know," she cried. "It's happening again." The glow spread from her palms to her arms. Her hair floated slightly as if caught in wind. She felt power, raw and burning, rising from deep inside. But it didn't hurt, it felt natural. As if it had always been there, waiting. Then the glow faded just as fast. She collapsed into Connor's arms, breathing hard. He held her tightly. "We need to get off this moon, now." Salira nodded weakly. "If the Aldari feel that, they'll come." Connor helped her lie down, placing a folded jacket under her head. She was pale, sweating, but her eyes still held that spark, mischievous, defiant, alive. "Promise me something," she whispered. "Anything. If they find us, and I lose control, you won't let them take me." "I won't," he said, without hesitation. "No. Matter what I turn into, I said I won't." He meant it. Salira closed her eyes. For the first time in days, she allowed herself to rest. Outside the cave, the clouds cleared. Stars shone in the sky, millions of them. And somewhere up there, ships moved quietly in the dark. Watching, hunting. Inside the cave, the air shimmered around her. A thin wave of warmth spread over the stone, unnoticed by Connor. The pregnancy wasn't normal. It was awakening something ancient inside her. And it was only just beginning. The ground shook just before sunrise. Connor woke first. His soldier instincts had never failed him. One hand on his weapon, the other already reaching to shake Salira awake. She groaned softly and opened her eyes. "We need to move," he said. "Something's coming." They both stepped outside the cave, hearts pounding. A deep sound rumbled in the distance, metal against earth, slow and steady. The trees bent slightly under pressure, though no wind blew. Walker units, Connor muttered. Uldari machines, 2, maybe 3, Celira swallowed hard. They tracked the pulse. Yeah, you lit up the whole mountain. I didn't mean to, she whispered. He glanced at her. I know. The next hour was chaos. They ran. Through the trees, over rocks, across shallow rivers with glowing blue moss that lit their path like ghost fire. Connor pushed her forward, never letting go of her hand. Celira used her powers only when she had to, levitating over sharp rocks, hiding their scent, bending shadows around them. Each time she used her power, the thing inside her pulsed harder. Almost like it was feeding on the magic. Connor noticed. You're getting weaker. I'm fine, she lied. You're not. They stopped to catch their breath near a ridge. Below them stretched the ruins of an old outpost, maybe human, maybe alien, too broken to tell. But it had walls. Maybe shelter. We'll take cover there, Connor said. But Celira couldn't move. She dropped to her knees, clutching her belly. Something's wrong, she gasped. Connor knelt beside her. Talk to me, she was shaking. Her skin glowed again, but not white this time, green and gold, swirling like fireflies. Her eyes widened. It's not just growing, it's learning. Listening. To what? Connor asked. To everything. Suddenly her back arched. A wave of energy burst from her chest, knocking Connor backward. The trees around them bent, and leaves exploded into light. Birds flew in all directions. Somewhere in the distance, metal machines paused. Celira collapsed again. Connor rushed to her side. Celira, she blinked slowly. I think it heard them. The soldiers, it knows they want to hurt me. You need rest. We'll hide, I'll carry you if I have to. No, she said softly. It's too late. They're here. He looked up. Shadows moved across the ridge. 6 Uldari troops. Dark armor, glowing weapons. And behind them, a floating commander with cold red eyes. Connor stood slowly. He pulled his rifle, cocked the charge, and planted his feet. Get behind me, he said. Celira pushed herself to her knees. No, I fight too. Not in your condition. This is my condition, she whispered, her voice suddenly full of strange power. And I'm not helpless. The commander floated forward. Princess Celira of Veralis, he called. You are accused of betraying your bloodline, contaminating royal genes, and fleeing your sacred duty. Surrender now and be erased with honor. Connor raised his weapon. Try it. The soldiers raised theirs too. Then Celira stood. She didn't. Glow. She burned. Her body lit up like a star being born. Her eyes turned silver, her hair lifted, her feet hovered inches off the ground. The very air trembled around her. The pulse from her body cracked stones and made the ground groan. The Uldari hesitated. Connor lowered his weapon in shock. Celira, what are you doing? She didn't answer. Her voice changed. It echoed. You came for the child. But the child has already chosen its protector. A massive wave of energy burst out from her chest. The Uldari were thrown like dolls, crashing into trees, slamming into rocks. The floating commander tried to resist, but his armor split open. His weapon melted in mid-air. The light vanished. As fast as it came, Celira collapsed. Connor caught her. Smoke curled from the grass. The enemy troops were scattered alive, but too injured to fight. Some crawled. Others moaned. One was missing his helmet, eyes wide with terror. Connor looked down at her. That wasn't just you. That was the baby. She nodded weakly. It's protecting us, but it's too much. I can't control it. You won't have to, he whispered, brushing hair from her face. You're not alone anymore, remember? Her eyes softened. You mean it? I do. He picked her up in his arms. She was trembling, exhausted but safe. They still had to escape this moon. Still had to face what was coming. But something had changed forever. Celira wasn't just a princess now. She was something more. And whatever was growing inside her Wasn't going to let her die. The forest was quiet again. Too quiet. Connor carried Celira through the ruins of the old outpost. Her glow had faded, but her skin was still warm, almost too warm. Her head rested against his chest, breathing slow but steady. He found what looked like a collapsed command room, half covered in vines and dust. The walls were cracked, but it was shelter. He gently laid her on a metal bench, then scanned the room for danger. Nothing moved. Only silence. Connor knelt beside her. "You need rest." Celira's eyes fluttered open. "Did we make it?" "For now." Her lips curled in a small smile. "Told you I'm not helpless." Connor didn't smile. "You nearly died, but I didn't," she whispered, reaching for his hand. "Because you were there." He didn't pull away. They stayed like that for a while, just breathing. Just feeling the silence after chaos. The light from her body no longer filled the room, but the memory of it still burned in his eyes. She wasn't normal. Not anymore. Maybe she never was. Connor stood and checked the supplies. "We'll need food soon. Water too." "I can help." She offered weakly. "You need to save your energy for both of you." She looked down, hand on her stomach. The bond was growing. She could feel not only the baby, but its awareness. Its mind. It wasn't a normal child. Not Uldari, not human. Something else. Something new, and that scared her more than death. Connor returned to her side. "I'll go alone. You stay here." She grabbed his wrist. "Wait, before you go. I need to tell you something." He looked into her eyes. She hesitated. "This baby isn't just protecting me. It's changing me." He blinked. "Changing how?" "I see things now when I close my eyes. Visions, memories. Sometimes they're not mine. Sometimes they're yours." He froze. "You dream." "Of fire," she said softly. "And of a small hand covered in blood. You cry when no one is watching." He stepped back. "Your past," she whispered. "You lost someone, didn't you?" Connor clenched his fists. "That's not your business." "You kept it buried," she said gently, "even from yourself." He turned away. "You don't know what you're talking about." She stood slowly, weak but determined. "Your pain, it's inside me now. The baby feels it." He didn't answer. Celira stepped forward and placed a hand on his chest. "I think that's why it chose you." He looked up, startled. "Chose?" She nodded. "It didn't just grow by accident. That spark between us, during the crash. It bonded with your energy, not because I wanted it, but because it wanted you." He stared at her for a long moment, then finally spoke. "My sister," he said. "She died on Calyx 4, in a bombing. I was supposed to pick her up that day. I got there late." Celira's hand didn't move. "I didn't speak for 2 years after that," he said. "Not until the army picked me up, gave me a gun, told me I was useful again." "You are," she whispered. "You were made for more than war." He laughed bitterly. "Yeah? And what am I now? A guard? A carrier? A father?" Her voice cracked. "I don't know. But I want you here." He met her eyes again. For the first time, no anger, no tension, just raw truth. He nodded. "Then I'll stay." Before either of them could speak again, a strange sound echoed through the outpost. A hum, deep, mechanical, familiar. Connor turned fast. "Another drone?" "No," Celira whispered. "Worse." From the far wall, a panel cracked open. Dust spilled out, and behind it, a red light flickered. An ancient AI core. Human design but twisted, corrupted, rewired with Uldari tech. "It's been watching us," Connor said. Celira stared. "How long?" The light pulsed. A voice buzzed through the air. "Broken, robotic. Biosignature confirmed. Uldari human hybrid detected. Transmission sent." Connor raised his weapon. The eye spoke again. "Warning, subject too powerful. Termination." Requested. He fired. The core sparked and died, but the damage was done. Celira clutched her stomach. They know now. Connor helped her sit. Then we move, we run, we hide. No, she said. He frowned. No? We stop running, she whispered. We fight. She looked stronger now, not glowing, not burning. Just sure. And Connor believed her, because the war wasn't over, but this time. They had something worth fighting for, for the first time. Since the war began, Celira didn't feel like a runaway. She felt like a queen. The old outpost became their base. Connor worked day and night to restore the defenses, repairing shields, reprogramming broken bots, and setting up traps with scrap parts. He barely slept, but he didn't complain. He moved with purpose now, not just to protect her. But with her, Celira trained too. Each day, she pushed her powers further, learning how to control the bursts of light, the fire in her veins. The baby inside her pulsed stronger with each use. It guided her in ways she didn't fully understand, sometimes warning her, sometimes pushing her to go beyond her limits. It wasn't just a child. It was something new. She stood alone in the center of the ruin one evening, eyes closed, focusing. She whispered a soft chant in her native tongue. Her hands began to glow, slow and steady this time. The air around her shimmered with warmth. Behind her, Connor watched. You're getting stronger, he said. She opened her eyes. No, we're getting stronger. He stepped forward. You think we can really stop them? If they send more ships, more war machines? She looked up at the stars. I'm not trying to stop them all. Just one message. If they want to erase this child, they'll have to erase me too. Connor's voice was quiet. And me, she looked at him. You'd really stand between me and your own kind? You're not my mission anymore, Celira, he said. You're my choice. She blinked, caught off guard. Her heart fluttered, then a sharp beeping echoed from the far side of the base. Connor turned fast. That's the comms relay. They both ran toward it. The screen flickered with static, then displayed a royal symbol, her family's crest. Celira froze. A moment later, her mother's image appeared. Queen Valaria. Her once beautiful face now looked older, harder. Her silver eyes, like Celira's, held no warmth. Celira, the queen said coldly, you have brought shame to our bloodline. But I will offer you one chance. Celira stepped closer. I don't want your offers. The queen ignored her. Return to Veralis. Surrender yourself to the royal medics. We will extract the hybrid. The damage will be contained. No, Celira whispered. You don't understand what's growing inside you, her mother continued. It's a threat to the balance of the galaxy. That power does not belong to any world. Connor stepped in. She's not a threat. She's your daughter. She was my daughter, the queen said, voice sharp. Now she's just a mistake. The transmission ended. Silence fell. Celira didn't cry. She just stood there, staring at the dead screen. Her hands slowly dropped to her sides. I always thought, she said quietly, that my mother was cold. But I never knew how empty she truly was. Connor touched her shoulder. You're not her. She nodded. I know. Later that night, Celira stood alone in the clearing. The moon above was pale and cracked, just like her heart. She whispered to the baby inside her. I don't know what you are yet, but I know you deserve more than fear. I will not let them take you. I will not let them decide who you are before you even take your first breath. She felt a warm pulse from within. Then her powers sparked again, but differently this time. A ring of symbols glowed around her feet, old Uldari runes she had never studied. They spun gently, forming a barrier around her. The light was soft, almost comforting. Connor stepped out from the shadows. What's happening? He asked. I don't know, she whispered, but I think the baby is building something. A shield, A warning. Then, from the sky they saw it, a ship, dark, silent, large, not Eldari. Not human. Something older. Something forgotten. It hovered. Above the trees, scanning, watching. Salira's eyes widened. They're not here to kill us. Connor raised his rifle. Then what? She turned to him slowly. They're here to take the child. The ship hovered above the forest, unmoving. No weapons fired. No soldiers dropped. It simply waited. Connor aimed his rifle at the sky. What kind of ship is that? Salira stared at it, her eyes glowing faintly. Not Eldari. Not human. It feels ancient. The child inside her pulsed again, stronger than ever before. Her whole body felt lighter, like the air itself was being pulled into her bones. The runes around her feet shimmered with new light. Something was waking. Without speaking, she stepped forward. Connor grabbed her wrist. What are you doing? There. Not here to fight, she said calmly. They're here for the baby. And I need to know why. Salira, this could be a trap. I know, she whispered. But I have to go. Before he could stop her, the ship opened. A beam of soft white light touched the ground, and from it descended 3 beings. They weren't Eldari, they weren't even flesh. Their forms shimmered like smoke and crystal, with eyes like stars. One of them stepped forward. You carry the seed, it said, voice echoing inside both their minds. Connor raised his weapon. Back off, the being didn't flinch. You misunderstand. We do not come to harm, we come to witness. Salira's hands trembled. Witness what? The creature bowed its head. The birth of the next bridge. A life born of war and love. A union between bloodlines that have hated each other for centuries. Connor narrowed his eyes. You're saying this baby is a bridge? The being nodded. This child is more than DNA. It is balance. Eldari magic and human will. It will grow into something the galaxy has never seen before. Something the old powers fear. Fear? Salira asked. Because it cannot be controlled, the being answered. It will break the chains. It will bring choice where there was only order. Connor stepped forward. Then why are you here? To offer a path, the being said. Raise the child in the hidden world, safe, free. Let it grow without fear, away from war. Salira looked down at her belly. But I don't want to run again. I want to fight for our place. The being tilted its head. You already have, by surviving. By choosing love. Another voice echoed from behind them. You don't have to go. They turned. Queen Velaria stepped from the trees alone. Her armor shined, but her face was tired, weathered. She had followed the ship's path, using Forbidden's tech. But she had come without guards, without weapons drawn. I watched the transmission, she said. I saw what you did. Salira tensed. Are you here to kill me? The queen shook her head. No, I'm here to tell you the truth. Connor stepped in front of Salira protectively. The queen raised her hand. When I ruled, I thought fear kept the galaxy balanced. That purity kept us strong. But I was wrong. You proved that. Salira's voice broke. Why now? The queen looked at her belly. Because that child will do what I never could, break the chain. And because, despite what I said before, you are still my daughter. Tears touched Salira's eyes. I don't deserve forgiveness, the queen said, stepping back. But maybe the galaxy does. She looked to the star beings. Take her where she needs to go. But let her choose the path. The beings nodded. Then looked to Salira. This is your moment. Salira turned to Connor. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. He just nodded. Wherever she went. He was going to. She stepped into the light. Connor beside her. As they rose toward the ship, the child pulsed inside her, calm and warm. The stars above seemed to draw closer, as if welcoming them. And far below, The Queen of Viralis knelt on the ground and whispered to herself, "Maybe this is how peace begins." They disappeared into the stars that night. No one knew where they went. But legends say the child was born under a sky full of twin moons, with power in her breath and light in her eyes. Some say she became a queen. Others say a warrior, but one thing is certain, she was the first of her kind. And the galaxy would never be the same again.